Dee Dee puts a sweater on Spike. She thinks Spike looks cute in it. Spike, however, bursts into verbally, and Stu walks in and asks what Dee Dee did to Spike. She asks Stu if Spike looks cute in the sweater. Stu is appalled, saying that Spike is a dog, not a poodle. Spike angrily pushes the sweater off, and Stu praises him for it. Dee Dee angrily tells Spike that if he wants to be naked for it all day, he can. Stu even encourages Spike to run off and be free as Spike jumps into the playpen. Lou then tells Stu and Dee Dee to come into the kitchen to listen to his acceptance speech, which they do. Tommy walks up to Spike. After seeing how much fun he has not wearing clothes, decides to join Spike in being naked. Tommy takes off his diaper and shirt and rides on Spike's back. When Stu goes into the living room to check on Tommy, he screams when he finds out he's completely naked. Dee Dee asks Stu what's the matter, and Stu informs her that Tommy took off his diaper. Dee Dee tells Stu to put it back on Tommy, which Stu tries to do, but Tommy keeps removing it numerous times, the last of which involves him tossing it on Stu's head. When Dee Dee sees this, she tells Stu to get it off, so as not to give Tommy any idea. Stu tells Dee Dee that Tommy won't keep his diaper on, as he puts Tommy's diaper back on one last time, Dee Dee tells him not to worry, as nudity is perfectly natural. Stu disagrees with her, saying that everyone in his family, save for his great Aunt Lois, wears clothes. Dee Dee says that according to Lipschitz, the spontaneous shedding of clothing by infants is a natural outgrowth of their desire to control their physical environment and explore their personal space. Stu asks Dee Dee what that means. She tells him that Tommy is just going through a phase, which he'll outgrow, probably before kindergarten. As they walk back into the kitchen, Tommy removes his diaper one last time and tosses it out of the playpen. Betty arrives with Phil and Lil and drops it off in the playpen, as she is curious about Lou's speech for his Wombat Award. The twins try to guess what's different about Tommy, including asking if he got a new haircut, when he virtually has no hair. Eventually, Phil and Lil correctly guess that Tommy is completely naked. That's why Tommy isn't wearing any clothes, and Tommy simply tells them he didn't want to wear his clothes. That's why he doesn't want to. Tommy responds by asking them why they wear clothes. Before they can answer, Tommy tells them that clothes are only for getting dirty or wet and making them hot and itchy. He tells the twins they don't have to wear their clothes and convinces them to take them off. Phil and Lil, agreeing with Tommy's new custom, undress by taking off their shoes, socks, and everything else. Phil and Lil are shocked when they see each other nude, and Tommy notices that Lil's a girl and there is something different about her, and asks if he can ask her a personal question. Chaz arrives with Chucky, and as he and Stu walk towards the playpen, Stu is aghast to find out that Phil and Lil have undressed themselves. Chaz seems to have no problem with their behavior, and as he drops Chucky off in the playpen, he assures Stu that naturism is a phase that many children go through. As Stu and Chaz leave their room, Phil and Lil ask Chucky what's wrong. Chucky is uncomfortable and hates the idea of naturism, regardless of Tommy, Phil, and Lil's participation. He tries to come up with a good idea for why adults put children in clothes, but he can't think of one. Tommy tells Chucky to take his clothes off, but Chucky doesn't want to. Tommy then tells Chucky that all the best people are naked, including Spike, Susie's cat, and even Reptar. After some convincing, Chucky reluctantly decides to join in as he unsuccessfully tries to take his shirt off. Betty runs into the living room, shocked to find Phil and Lil nude. She grabs them and their clothes in her arms as Dee Dee tries to assure that Phil and Lil are just babies who don't know any better. Betty then accuses Dee Dee of enabling this behavior and begins to think that she and Stu are nudists and hippie freaks. After Betty leaves the house angrily, Dee Dee helps Chucky keep his shirt on. Chucky worries that due to Betty's actions, he and Tommy will never get to see Phil and Lil again. Tommy tells him not to worry and that they will see the twins again someday. Chucky feels that Betty will never let Phil and Lil come back because of Tommy's idea for them to get naked. Tommy states that he doesn't care what anybody says and decides to keep his clothes off. In the kitchen, Dee Dee is shocked that Betty reacted so angrily, but Stu tells her that Betty's actions were justified due to Tommy's naturism and the fact her children were nude in somebody else's home. Chaz tells them not to worry, but now Dee Dee can't help worrying. Stu then expresses concern about what might happen if Tommy got naked at Lou's award ceremony that night. Dee Dee decides to call the Dr. Lipschitz hotline while Stu has an idea of his own. He picks up Tommy and carries him away. Chucky looks sadly at Tommy, who sadly waves at him back. Dee Dee begins calling the Dr. Lipschitz hotline, only finding the recorded message has answered her call, that she has to wait for the chance to press the right buttons. In the basement, Stu measures Tommy and gathers supplies for a new invention. After waiting for instructions to press 9, Dr. Lipschitz's recording message gives Dee Dee the exact same advice on how to deal with baby nudity. It's already been written on the books. The message then charges Dee Dee for every minute she waited on the hotline. As Dee Dee hangs up, Stu brings in Tommy. In addition to wearing his diaper and shirt, Tommy is also wearing Stu's new invention, the Pickles baby suspenders, which is a restraining device specifically designed to keep Tommy from taking his clothes off. While Dee Dee doesn't find the invention fashionable, she's glad she'll be able to take Tommy to Lou's award ceremony without worry. That evening, the Wombat presentation presents Lou with the Golden Marsupial Award. As Lou begins his speech, Tommy tries to pull off the baby suspenders, but to no avail. He and Chucky duck under the table, and Tommy tells Chucky he has to get the baby suspenders off. While he knows he's able to take off his clothes, he doesn't believe he can get the baby suspenders off. After trying to pull them off again, Chucky tells Tommy he'll be stuck in his clothes forever. Determined to not give up, Tommy grabs a fork from atop the table and uses it to reach the mechanism on the back. The mechanism falls apart, loosening the baby suspenders and allowing Tommy to get them off. Above the table, everybody at the lodge is bored hearing Lou's speech, and Stu and Dee Dee have even fallen asleep. Having taken his clothes off again, Tommy tells Chucky he's going out. As Lou finishes his speech, Tommy walks up to him, getting the attention of everyone at the lodge. Stu and Dee Dee have awakened, and Dee Dee starts to worry. Stu tells her not to panic, just pretend Tommy isn't their son. Lou picks up Tommy and tells everyone he'd like to meet his grandson. Everyone applauds, and Tommy puts Lou's wombat hat on his head. Next morning, Lou tells Stu and Dee Dee, who are reading a newspaper, they got many phone calls. Dee Dee asks Lou if everyone liked his speech, and Lou tells her they hated his speech. I found his grandson the cutest thing they ever saw, with or without his clothes. Now wearing his diaper and shirt again, Tommy talks to Chucky about the importance of clothes. Chucky tries to talk to Tommy, but Tommy interrupts, telling him that he knows Spike and Reptar are naked, but humans are not animals. They have to wear clothes. He jumps and splashes water, revealing that he and Chucky are in the bathtub. Chucky, realizing it's no use arguing with Tommy, decides not to object to him wearing clothes in the bathtub, and to let him do whatever makes him happy. As Dee Dee takes Chucky away to dry him off, Tommy continues playing in the bathtub with his clothes on. Angelica constructs an elaborate fort of spare furniture and shapes at Stu and Dee Dee's house. When the babies ask what it is, Angelica says it's her private secret club. Moments later, she announces there's an opening for a new member, but just one. In order to decide which baby gets to join, Angelica announces several tests must be passed. The first test involves drinking a full bottle of milk. Chucky and Lil do poorly, but Tommy manages to succeed, but not without feeling ill afterwards. For the second test, the babies must recite a unique poem given to them by Angelica. Chucky only remembers the first half of his poem. Lil remembers most of hers except for the end, which she did ad-libs. And Angelica is the best. Angelica likes her save and moves on to Phil. Phil explains her brother feels unwell from the milk and was forced to guzzle earlier. Angelica forces him to recite anyways. Phil tries to speak but falls over backwards instead. Angelica moves on to Tommy, who is able to recite his poem perfectly, with great articulation as well. Angelica holds up a ceremony to declare the winner and new member of her secret club. Unsurprisingly, the new member is Tommy. Inside Angelica's secret club, there's a private ceremony for the new member, complete with a piece of paper with scratch and sniff strawberry sticker on it. Then Angelica begins to have Tommy run official secret club errands for her and even outlines a plethora of rules for him, one of them being that he can't talk to non-secret club members. Later, Tommy sees Chucky, Phil, and Lil playing in the leaves and having so much fun and laughing. He starts feeling bored and lonely without his friends to hang out with. Every time he tries talking to Chucky, Phil, and Lil, Angelica screams at him for it. The twins start to think that Tommy feels they and Chucky aren't good enough for him anymore. Now he's part of Angelica's club. Chucky doesn't believe this and feels that Angelica's just making Tommy act like that. He goes to try and talk to Tommy. When Angelica leaves the club headquarters for a little bit, Chucky comes by and Tommy whispers the secret password to him so he can come in. When Chucky finally sees the inside of her club and Tommy tells him about what he and Angelica do, Chucky realizes that the club isn't nearly as fun as he, Phil, and Lil thought it would be, and points out this to Tommy. But Tommy misinterprets this as Chucky and the twins being jealous that he got into the club when none of them did. Chucky gets mad at Tommy for thinking that and says that the twins were right about Tommy changing. Leaves in an anger-fueled huff. When Angelica returns, she finds out Chucky was there and angrily scolds Tommy for it. Angelica tells Tommy that as long as he's part of her club, he can't be friends with Chucky. This gets Tommy mad and makes him realize that Chucky was right about Angelica's club being no fun, and he quits being a member of it. Chucky runs up to Tommy, and they both start hugging. Later, the babies are playing in the leaves again, having so much fun, but this time, Tommy finally joins them. The babies are all laughing and throwing the leaves up in the air. Angelica passes by the babies playing in the backyard. They say it's their own secret club. Angelica asks if she can join, but Chucky, Phil, and Lil refuse because of how cruel she was to them and think they should give her the same test she gave them. However, Tommy says Angelica can become a member because the secret club is open to everyone.